Namaskar. A meeting is right now underway between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump, and we are reasonably confident that these will be the topics that will be discussed. And while all of these things may not be mentioned in the declaration, we have a reliable source that has said that these will be the topics that will be taken up. Also, what was agreed or discussed with France will also be coming into play here. So we're going to share all these things in this small, brief slide deck. You can find out how many of these things actually got mentioned in the press declaration and how many was just discussed, but no mention was made. Either way, the point I'm trying to make is many of us are trying to guess what exactly is being discussed. Number one thing, just moments before the meeting was to begin, Trump put the concept of reciprocal taxes. What is reciprocal taxes? Well, reciprocal tariffs, I should say. What are reciprocal tariffs? Well, let us say that for a particular item, let us say a car, right? If India levies a customs duty, import tax, GST, all that together of 25%, then if India were to export a car to the United States, they would have to pay the same tariffs. Now, this reciprocal tariff is a sum total of all the taxes. It's not just import duties, or it's not going to be just the GST on that and things like that. So this is a very interesting approach, because this would mean that if India wants to export cars to United States, it may have to pay like 50, 60, 70, I don't know. Luxury cars are taxed a lot. So that is what you're looking at. So this is a very simple math. If you decrease your tariffs, then US will also decrease its tariffs. So while it may not make much of a difference to India, I have a feeling it will in some effort. You have to go back and look at where is the trade deficit between India and US. If my memory serves me right, India is a net exporter to the US because of the software goods. Now, if India were to levy 45% on taxes on software from US, guess what? The billing of all these all these companies that are giving out their maintenance and things of that nature, it's going to go up. So they will no longer be price competitive, perhaps with other countries which may have a lower tax structure. So there is a fair amount of churn that's going to happen there. Before I show you my slide deck, I just wanted to tell you this is my understanding of the reciprocal taxes, and this could be a big deal or it might be not a big deal, because India has proactively reduced taxes on some items in the recently submitted budget. India has taken some steps, but is that going to be enough? Let's see. So these are the details. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and also like this video, because we wanted to update you on all the items. First thing was Elon Musk met with Prime Minister Modi today. In fact, he met with his whole family. The kids were there, his wife was there, even a nanny, I think, was there. So it was a very intimate setting kind of a meeting. It was at Blair House, and a lot of pictures have come out also. The takeaway for Elon Musk is he may not get the Starlink license, because it is believed that Ambani's alternative plans are already in an advanced stage with India. I think it's called Starwave, if I'm not wrong. Be that as it may, this is one thing that Musk may not be able to get. Tesla, already we have told you that's going to be difficult. So we'll see what happens. Now let's take a look at US-India talks. What are all the things that could be discussed? Again, this is a little birdie telling me, whispering in my ear, these are all the things that were on the agenda. That's what we have placed here. Some things may not get mentioned. Some things may also not get discussed because of lack of time. If you get pulled into one discussion for a long time, who knows what happens then, right? F-35 purchase may not proceed as Bharat seeks access to the source code to integrate its domestically developed weapon platforms onto the F-35 arsenal. Think of it this way. How India will put its missiles into the F-35 system. That is basically, the F-35 is a carrier. It can take weapons, but India wants to have access to the source code so that it can fine-tune it for its own weaponry. Think BrahMos missile if you want. something like that. I'm not saying that that's exactly the configuration. Now, if F-35 doesn't want to give the source code, then this might be a no-go. On the other hand, Russia, Su-57, is willing to be able to accommodate India's request, especially in the Tejas aircraft. I'm not 100% sure Su-57 and F-35 are like for like replacements. I don't think so. People who are more in the know of things can straighten me out, but the Russian Su-57 looks like that is being preferred, at least to try and get the Tejas off the ground. Although I'm also hearing that the General Electric engines are also going to be supplied very soon. That's, again, I'll come to that in just a moment. There's a few more slides to cover before I come back to that. Now, what else can India get from United States? There are a lot of other armaments that India can get. For example, attack helicopters. What is an attack helicopter? These, as well as armored ground vehicles, are for primarily anti-terrorist and anti-Naxal operations in, like, for example, Chhattisgarh area, and so on and so forth. This might be something that India might be willing to buy from the United States. That was as far as arms and weapons and things like that. Let's take a look at manufacturing. In manufacturing, especially in semiconductor manufacturing, for chips above 30 nanometers. See, this is something that people might not like, that, oh, India is not going to be producing state-of-the-art chips, but something that is a little bit older. See, semiconductor chip manufacturing process is a very delicate, sensitive operation. It takes a lot of years to master that. And TSMC has been doing this for 40, 50 years. And it is only now that they have risen to the pinnacle. So you have to first learn to walk before you can run. In my opinion, even being able to manufacture for a chip technology above 30 nanometer is not a bad idea. India needs to start somewhere, and the United States may assist Bharat in this technology, provided the American firms are granted permission to establish manufacturing operations in Bharat, potentially through joint ventures with Bharatiya partners. This is something that I think there was a plan in the last budget, not this budget, but the last budget, where India said that, you know, high-tech firms can take, I think, a 5-year holiday of like 15% taxes. Corporate tax rate was 15%. But I don't know if they said that all that profits could be repatriated back to the host country. That is where always it sticks. I don't know what happened there. The next thing, United States might ask India to police the Indian Ocean. Bharat may be compelled to bear the full cost of policing the Indian Ocean region, IOR, which means spanning from the Suez Canal all the way up to the Malacca Strait. The Suez Canal, Hormuz, all that stuff, Madagascar, all the way down to Madagascar, everything on the Indian Ocean, India may be asked to police it, and India may have to bear the full cost of that. The USA may limit its involvement to sharing real-time intelligence for this region with Bharat, exactly like perhaps Five Eyes Alliance, where the Five Eyes get information sharing. Then Bharat may also need to handle berthing, refueling, repairs, and refitting operations for the US naval fleet in the Indian Ocean region. This is actually an opportunity for India. They have tried a few things and they were very happy with the kind of service that India provided. And along with food supplies, this would be like, I think the experiment was tried at Mazagon Docks, Mumbai, if I remember correctly. But there is another port near Chennai called the Kattupalli port. It has already commenced operations for US vessels there. So that is another thing. Now, what else does India get? So India has an expense list and a income list. What else does India get? With respect to Bangladesh and Pakistan, Bangladesh and Gilgit-Baltistan issues may be left for Bharat to handle independently without any intervention from the USA. This is a huge deal. This alone is a huge deal, that US says we will not keep, butting our nose in or foot in and trying to, change the outcome of things. I'm telling all those Jamaat loudmouths and rascals, your time is coming now. Now, On the jet engines, remember I told you I was going to give you an update on jet engines. Trump may allow General Electric to fulfill the agreed orders for Tejas engines. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh is also in the US with Prime Minister Modi specifically for this purpose. See, the difference is the Crystal Blade engines that GE manufactures. I think it was a company that they bought. It might have been Pratt Whitney. This Crystal Blade technology is very unique. The engine can run for 20,000 hours or something like that if you use Crystal Blade's technology. So it's a big leap in technology. I don't think the equivalent Su-57 engine of Russia has the same kind of lifespan. That increases. See, that means that you don't need to keep on changing the engine. So that's a big deal. So we'll have to see how that plays out. For Tejas Mark II, French Safran engines may be approved. So now everybody wants to be part of this Tejas product because that is India's own developed product, inspired from some technologies. And French Safran engines also may be approved. So this is not going to be a straight thing for US that, okay, we will continue to buy. They've already paid for some. I think they want that back, that to be sent to India. And in future, I think India is leaning towards looking at the Safran engines from France. France is a big beneficiary if you think about it. Right now, all the Rafale aircraft are using the ones that are being used by India, by its aircraft and navy. They all are using Safran engines. And I'm also told that Airbus uses the Safran engines. Tariffs, this is what I told you, reciprocal tariffs. So the other thing that US might ask India to do is to import American agricultural products which are currently mostly banned. Like, for example, genetically modified crops, Monsanto, for example. This is again another sticking point. As far as taxes on Harley-Davidson bikes, India has reduced the taxes on that, but that's going to be hardly anything. There will be other big things in the pipeline. Always look at the 80-20 principle called Pareto principle, meaning 20% of the products will make up 80% of your product revenue. So that's the one that they'll be looking at very closely. So we'll see how it goes. Now, as far as his trip to France, what were the things that are in the making? That means these are in the pipeline and these might happen very soon. France is providing full transfer of technology for manufacturing within Bharat, possibly excluding the top coating of the turbine blades. This is for the saffron. France is expected to provide transfer of technology for electric submarines. France is also expected to supply nuclear attack submarines, small modular nuclear reactors suitable for aircraft carriers, submarines, space missions, and power generation in remote islands are also being considered. By the way, we have some reference links for some of these topics, and I'll be happy to share them by way of reference links. Do come to the description section in the video a little bit later, about an hour or so, and then you will see all those links in position there. Bharat has consistently, this is for the BRICS. In BRICS, the biggest sticking point was the currency, right? BRICS currency. Bharat has consistently opposed the idea of a separate BRICS currency as an alternative to the US dollar. This stance may be leveraged to persuade Trump to ease tariffs on Bharat. This is Bharat pushing back. Russian oil refined in Bharat may be marketed globally through Texas-based entities aligned with GOP and Trump. This is Trump's way of paying back some of his donors. See, this is where the party starts coming into play. Reliance may purchase shale gas and oil from the USA for processing in Bharat. So again, SOP. So we will take your shale and we will make a refined product. So both sides, there is some give and take. What happens to the IMEC product? What happens to Gaza reconstruction? All these things are also being discussed. I'm told the IMEC project, Gaza reconstruction, and the development of a residential enclave for Gazans in the Sinai Peninsula, Egypt. See, we told you, General Rajiv Narayan told you, there were 3 possible locations and Sinai Peninsula looked like the best candidate. Either in full or in parts may be allocated to Bharatiya infrastructure firms with funding from Israel. Bharat may offset payments for its high-end electronics and defense purchases from Israel against the fund allocated for these projects. So there you have it. Thanks to Kannan Ramswamy for doing some of the research for us, and we're really indebted to him. He has done a whole bunch of information that we got, and we put together what we thought was a compelling presentation. I hope you all liked it, and this is something that will probably be an overarching thing of what has happened. Some of the things may not get discussed but quietly get executed. Certainly the fact that Rajnath Singh has come to visit United States, he came straight to the United States, tells you that there is more going on than meets the eye. We think we have done a fairly good capture of all the different things that are happening, and certainly we would love your feedback by way of comments, and also do look at the reference links to get more information. I'm going to go through and see if there are any questions. There are a few questions here. Let me see. Well, Ameya Rupal wants to say, what a joke we are. Despite billion funds to IIT and millions of engineers, we are still dependent on foreign countries for defense technology. We are good for nothing. IT sweatshop. Ameya, India, it's not as black and white as that. See, what happens is when you provide manpower on a contract basis for 3 months, 6 months, it's actually easy money. Why? Because you don't need to invest anything in R&D. You are just providing a strong platform. Like, for example, Infosys says that we don't believe in what you have learned in your engineering degree. We believe in our 6-month training program, after which we think you are marketable. You see what I'm saying? So everybody has to go through this regimen of thinking that if you have to make a PowerPoint, these are the processes you have to follow. If you want to go and execute a project on site, these are the things you have to do. Everything straight-jacketed and presented to you in a way that you are forced to be a small cog in a big wheel. However, once this is all done, you also probably get straight-jacketed in your thinking. And startups need to blossom, and that's what India needs to really look at. India has been successful in starting a lot of startups, but it takes time, and that's why I keep coming back to the transparency of price discovery in India's stock markets. That's a huge, huge problem right now. Let me just line up some of the questions here. There are a few more. Okay, here is one interesting thing from Vijay Singh. India just needs to fix the Bangladesh issue in Trump's time. 4 years is too small to fix Gaza. I make work and Trump will be out by that time. But my guess is if Trump is able to deliver 30% of what he has promised, that Republicans might be in for at least 2 more terms. And certainly what he has started in DOGE, if he is able to accomplish a lot of those things, close out all the loopholes, I think Democrats are in for a whole lot of hurt. So we'll see how that plays out. And that's all we have for questions. That's all we have for a monologue discussion. Now let's take a look at some of the questions. There are 4 questions. I'm going to just go through them quickly. First one is from 𝗤𝗢𝗄𝗍 𝗑𝗏. Monsanto is a monster. I hope you know the problems created by these guys in Canada and US. Yes, Monsanto created, for example, let's say you buy rice grains from them, rice seeds from them. The seeds are created in such a way that you cannot use the rice from one crop, set aside some amount to be used as seed in the following crop, because they have genetically modified these rice grains to not be able to be the seed for the next crop. They want you to come back to them. That's a well-known thing. I don't know how much India will be able to push back on that, because if it does this, then basically India will lose its own native strains, and that would be really sad. Vishal Singh wants to know, has a question. 80-20 and 95% write down of old technology we can pass on Southeast Asia against China. Yes, I sort of agree with you. It's possible. Maulana Hawasuddin Al-Bakri Premi. Sree, is Trump serious about acquiring Canada? Today in a press conference, he also called Trudeau a governor. I think he's trying to pull his leg. This has been known for a long time. I've told you this also. This is not any arrogance on my part. much of the Canadian citizenry lives within 100 miles of the border of United States. After that, the terrain becomes very, very harsh. Now, Canada has access to a lot of natural resources, but it has become too liberal for their own good. How do you change it? Even a conservative government with Pierre Poilievre as the Prime Minister, how successful will they be? They have 13 states, and all the 13 premiers are supposed to have come and met with Trump. So there's a fair amount of churn going on, but this is Trump's strategy. Hit you with shock and awe and then see what you come up with. Put you on the defensive, if you will. 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗿 𝗢𝗂𝗏 again. Most of the US products are manufactured in China or just assembled in US. Why India has to import such US product with lesser tax? US defense products are too expensive. Well, good points. Well, India has two options, right? India can make its own arms and ammunition, or it can get it from a cheaper source. I don't think anybody else is cheaper. They may be a little bit cheaper one place, they may be more expensive somewhere else. For example, some may be cheap to buy, but then it may be expensive to maintain. You have to have total cost of ownership worked out. So there are many things here to consider, and this is not an easy target. In the meantime, the adversary such as China is continuing to evolve and continuing to make newer technologies. So a lot of things go into the thought process here, but if there is a confrontation, like a full-fledged, full all-out war against China, you want United States on your side. That's for sure. Otherwise, if US doesn't help India at that point of time, India will lose. China is a big, big, big monster that way. So this is my 2 cents on how things are going to play out. And viewers, that was wonderful interacting with you. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. You can do a comparison on how many of these things were actually mentioned in the press conference that is expected to follow in an hour or so from now. Thank you. Namaskar.